Back to the baby, yes, its structure indicates the beginning of its individual purpose in this life. That's all inherent to the structure, because in adolescence, there are going to be changes which make that individual purpose much more clear. Plus, of course, the fact that for the adolescent, the opportunities that life has presented in terms of information or specific events or the opportunity to investigate specific interests, that's all come up, but it doesn't be registering clearly for little children. It does register clearly once we decide on what kind of man or woman we expect and others expect of us to be. So the second body, the adolescent body, is clearly focused on sex role, whatever that is, in our belief system. That's our part of our expected I. Just as a theoretical introduction to the structure function of childhood and the changes which are going to happen in adolescence, which will be more taken up on another segment in this series, let's move on to the self. Me, the child reality, which is all life as perceived as a I like it or I don't like it, as what's like me and I feel good about that, and what I don't like, which is not me, and how I resist that and want someone else to appreciate what I am feeling. We move on to that eternal part of us, which is as long as we're alive, which is life itself in us. Life itself in us, it is our life, not modified by structure, not modified by age, the real self. That's a capital S self. So, all right, self, speak to self.
So, myself, it's all about now, and it's all about the person you see in that mirror. So it shows up with a lessening of my lips and lines in my face. And Daniel could explain those lines more exacting. But I think an important part for me in all of this conversation is that when I came into this work with structure function, it was after 10 years before I had been in a car accident with a brain injury. And I was looking for who I was. I had no memory of me. So I didn't know. People would react to me, and I didn't know if that was really who I was or just who they thought I was. Because people were always, they were putting, responsibilities on me that I had no idea that I could even possibly achieve. And then when I got connected with Daniel Whiteside and the brilliance...
And Mr. Gordon Stokes.
And, of course, Mr. Gordon Stokes, and the brilliance of structure function, I began to learn the me that I am with my jaws that got developed in my adolescence, that show people that I am an authority. But I, myself, didn't think of myself that way. My eyes are close set, so I didn't have the confidence to continue with being that authority. And now, as my aging, I have these lines that say people are never going to listen to me. And my lips, my upper lip, which used to be a lot fuller, says that people aren't, that I'm not able to communicate my feelings.
But you want to.
But I definitely want to, but that I'm not able to, and so I can't really fully express myself throughout my body.
Did you hear that? I can't fully accept myself. That's the I, that's the identity that says this is not like me.
Right.
And that takes us back to the baby. And if it's not like me, I don't do it. Fear, pain, and the rest of it, it's not worth it.
Oh, sure. I've been shut down a lot with talking my feelings. So, yeah. So my ego, who cannot survive inside of, confrontation or merely standing up for myself. And there's been a lot of denial of who I am through my experience with other people. I have intuition and psychic from my childhood. And when I would talk to people about what I was perceiving, they would tell me I was crazy. I was making it up. And of course I believed that because I had no memory. I had no ability to know that I had any kind of ability to just know things. So after 10 years of dealing with this, I found Structure Function and Gordon Stokes and Daniel Whiteside. And I am now able to be present with my three bodies, my child, my adolescent, and my adult. And when things happen to me, when I'm challenged with an opportunity that's unfamiliar to me, I can step back, I can control my breathing, and I can know that I am capable and equal to any task. And that is the beauty of this work, and that is what we're all here for, is to share it with you and to encourage you to be able to investigate, well, what is it about me that I don't know at this point? That my life is instinctively pushing me towards knowing. And contact us and give us the opportunity to expand your knowledge of yourself and your knowledge of what's possible and staying true to who you are.
What Kathy just did is a wonderful example of doing what this program is all about, which is, so she's been here for a couple of hours, and I've been doing what I've been doing. You've been doing what you're doing, and she has been sitting on it, waiting for, quote, her turn to come, which is the opportunity. And look what she did. She outlined it all, reviewed it all very nicely. And the bottom line is if you have any doubt about your own power is in choice. Your own power is in making a choice to consciously monitor your negative reaction and transform it into an awareness of the positive possible that you want in this situation. You're going to be hearing in this series a whole lot more about structure function, and in this general discussion, we have not said more or less what you can do in the moment to get yourself reoriented back to your self as opposed to your I, or the poor wretched child who suffered and began their belief system based on fear, pain, and fear of future pain. Sure, the person in the mirror is now, and the power available in now is choice, and that is the choice to move consciously toward the positive possible, which begins with your monitoring your own reaction and giving yourself a space between the negative that the belief system that your I will immediately produce and putting yourself in contact with the oneness with all life, which is life itself. And Kathy has had a great blessing because in this automobile accident that she went through, her memory of her past was eliminated. So she was consciously starting from zero in present time. What an opportunity. I see that as a great blessing. I think we could all profit from such accidents because then we know that we're starting to build our awareness of ourself. Why not start now? Now is the time.
Yes, without the accident.
Well,
It's-
with or
it-
without the accident,
Well, yes.
yes.
But having gone through the accident part of it, I know that what's available here now is everything that I had available at that moment. Because there are steps to identifying and releasing and creating what it is that you want.
Okay, and that's what this series is all about. We had that power most clearly as little children. As adolescents, it got very confused through issues of sexual identity and sex role and the expectations of others. What are your expectations for yourself? You will not find them by simply repeating the past. That recycling proposition is functionally a real waste of time. It is all about now. Now is the only time, as my dear friend and life partner, Gordon Stokes would say, the only time that you have power is now. And the evidence of now is the choices that you make now that will move you out of the past and into the future that you want to create. This series is all about knowing yourself. Who is that person in the mirror? That is truly yourself. But do you know yourself? Do you have a sense of purpose? Because it's inborn and is always available to be contacted. Well, Albertine, my dear, what, if anything, do you want to add to all of that?
Well, listening to Kathy's story and having this amazing bag of tools that this work offers, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could just take the moment for what it is, instead of running it through our belief system? I mean, it is important to be able to think critically, but also to be able to make a choice based on the present is really where the power is. And we do have free will to do that. So why not embrace that power and really create the experience that we want in the moment?
Yes.
And, you know, memory or not, it's really about what's going on now.
We were born with a purpose. We were born to be who we are. Who is that person in the mirror? What does the structure function tell you about that person and that purpose that is inherent to every cell of your body? If you have felt that purpose was something missing in your life, pay attention to this series. It will give you not just a clue, but will give you some very specific information about you and your purpose in this life. So, we welcome your contact, and do check in on the YouTube for Daniel Whiteside regularly, because Daniel Whiteside has the benefit of wonderful additional information from a Kathy Brannon, who is devoted to this subject, and an Albertine Fan, who is devoted to this subject. In other words, we are devoted to our own self-fulfillment. Aren't you?